Good afternoon, it's John from Blue Forest Motorhomes. Today we're going to be doing a departure show. The departures check actually comes inside our vehicles, so it's a checklist just to make sure that you don't miss anything. So we're just going to go through the checklist one by one. As you can see, Blue is here today with me, wanting her ball to be kicked. So anyway, let's get on with it. So the first check on the list is to check the engine fluid. So if you open up the key here and flick the key open, place it into this slot at the front, turn it to the left, you'll hear the bonnet bump, and then turn it to the right to lift the bonnet up. Under here is the bonnet catch. So within here we have a level here. As you can see, we have a minimum and a maximum level. This is for the engine coolant, so make sure that's within minimum and maximums. Over here we have the brake fluid cylinder. As you can see, there's a minimum and a value there. I don't think there is any maximum on this one. So down here, this is the washer for the windscreen. We always top them up before they go out, so you shouldn't have any problems with that, but that's where you fill it. Down here is the engine oil levels. Just to pull that out, give it a wipe and send it back in again. But as you can see, this one is topped up lovely. So we should put that back in. The filler cap for this is just here, so just unscrew that and top it up slowly until you find that you've got to the correct levels. So that's that. To close the bonnet catch, remove the bonnet lever, place it within the yellow spigot there to hold it, and simply let it drop from about there. Give it a check to make sure the bonnet is closed. So moving round to the side of the vehicle, if we want to top up the fuel and look at the AdBlue, you simply open the passenger's door behind these two flaps here. The top one is where the diesel goes, that's where you need to fill it up, and the second one is where the AdBlue goes. We fill them up every time with AdBlue, so you should not need to touch this at all, but if you do see a warning light, top it up with AdBlue, but the AdBlue should last for about 5,000 miles, so you should never have to touch this. Next we're going to look around at tyre pressures, if we go around this way. So just have a general cursory look around the tyres to make sure they're okay. This one's obviously this brand new vehicle, it's done very few miles. But if you open up the inside of the door here, you'll see that on the inside rim there, around the side, keep it around, with the actual tyre pressures. So if you ever need to top up the tyre pressures are written there, so you know where they are. Obviously, if the mirrors have been folded in, just grab hold of the mirror, pull it back out until it clicks. It clicks in place. So that's that. Check all the driving lights are working. So you'll need somebody to assist you with that. Best thing to do is to open the vehicle, get somebody to sit in, turn the ignition on. So from here is this here is the lights, main lights. These are not automatic lights, you need to turn them on. So let's go around to the front and the sides now to have a look to make sure they're working. But while we're here, what we'll do, we'll also put on the hazard lights. So as we walk around now, we're going to check that all the lights are working. So you can see we've got an indicator light on the mirror. Okay. We also have indicator lights on the front. We also have additional indicator lights on the other mirror. Around to the back, we will also have the indicator lights flashing on the back. So we know if the indicator lights are working. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to turn the ignition on, Lynette's going to stay here, and I'm going to put the brakes on, and you'll see that the brake lights come on. But initially I'll put on the main lights to make sure they're working, and then I'll do the brake lights, but I shall call on. So to test the lights, you need to have the ignition on. I'll just turn the ignition on now, and now you can see that the main lights are actually on. You just need to test the brake pedal now, and you should see the lights going back. Clap.
Yeah.
Off.
Off.
On.
On.
Off.
Off.
So that's the brake lights checked. What you're hearing now is a bong that's coming from to tell you you've turned the ignition off, but the lights are still on. So what we do here, we simply turn the lights back off, and this should stop the bong from going. So continuing on with our checks, we're going to ensure that the gas bottle is secured. Now, these locking mechanisms are a bit on the awkward side, so you have to put the key in, turn it, and it will pop out, and then you can turn it to unlock it. So within here, this is the accessory cupboard. So as you can see, the gas bottle is in here. You also have the blue pipe, that's for domestic drinking water and shouldn't be used for anything else. We also have in here, these are the blue bags. Those are for the toilet cassette, but we should take that through in a minute. So initially what you're looking for here is there's a couple of spanners that come with this to enable that the gas bottle, to change the gas bottle. But what you're really looking for primarily is to make sure that the gas bottle is secure, so it's not going to move. That one's fine, so we should be all good to go with that. So closing this, it's a bit of a tricky task. So make sure it's closed, turn it, you'll see it move in and make it sealed. You have to put the key back in while it's open, and best to hold it like that. Turn it and then give it a whack, and that is that door secured. So that's that sorted. So the next part is we're going to look at the awning. So if Lynette pushes up at the awnings, you'll see up here there is a red tab and it's popped out. Okay, down the other end you'll also see another red tab that has popped out just here. Look. So what we're going to do, because we haven't unravelled the awning in its full extension, but we are going to make sure that the awning is put away correctly. So we're going to wind that back in, and as you can see, the red tabs now have gone, they've gone flush. And if Lynette takes you down the other side, you'll see that's gone flush as well. Okay, moving back round to the side of the vehicle now. As you can see here, we have the electrical hookup. This is part of the electrical system, and is great if you're on site to have electrical hookup, because other amenities work. You get 240 volts for hair dryers, etc, etc. Very easy to remove. Just simply hold it, pull, and you'll see that it's got a cap, a sprung loaded cap there. So just ensure that's closed. Close this, give it a little to make sure it's closed. So what you would do then, you would take this, roll it up, and you're going to stow it inside your utility cupboard in here, ready for your next location. So we're going to go around now to the back of the vehicle and have a look at the bike rack. So here's your bike rack, capable of holding 4 bikes, secured here by these clips. So we've got one plastic clip there and another plastic clip there. So if I undo these, you can see that the whole bike rack will come down. So if you're taking bikes away with you, ensure that your bikes are secured and they're ready and fit for travel. If you're not, ensure that this is in the upright position, and you must do it on the inside and then clip. So, and this one is the same. So this thing goes on the outside and then the clip. As you can see, it's not the sturdiest of things, but that's how you secure the bike rack. Okay, next we're going to move on to the grey water. Grey water is water that you've used while you're doing washing up, having in a shower. It is nothing to do with sanitary. It's nothing to do with the toilet system or anything like that. So underneath here, if Lynette can get it in, there is a black handle. What we recommend is you go over some kind of drainage system, or if you're on a proper campsite, they should have a grey water drainage area. So what you need to do is just pull this lever, pull it out, you'll hear an audible clunk, and then the water will start flowing. Leave it open until the water's finished flowing out, and at that point your grey water's emptied. You don't have to empty it if you're travelling, but it's best to, because you're just carrying weight, and obviously you're paying for that weight in fuel. So it's best to empty it when you can. So just close it back in, you'll feel an audible clunk when it's closed, and that's your grey water done. Moving round towards the back of the vehicle, just one item of interest on here. There is a spare wheel that comes with this vehicle, so this is the rear near side wheel. If you can see that, I don't know how clear it is. Let's see if I can zoom in. There is a hole there with a splines drive. That is used to lower the rear wheel. We do have our REC cover, so if you want to have an attempt to try and fix this, great. If not, just simply call out the REC. But if they ask you if you know where it is, it's on the rear near side wheel, just on the inside of the chassis. Back again, all of the vehicles come with these levelling ramps. They might not necessarily have been blue, but for this vehicle they are blue. This enables you to drive up these ramps and level the vehicle inside. There are two of these that come with the vehicle, and this is just an example of one of them. So when you finish with this, obviously roll off of it, take it out from under the wheel and stow it in the garage. So the garage has got locks on it like the utility cupboard did. Simply unlock it, undo it, make sure that the utility, make sure they're stowed in the garage. We do offer tables and chairs that come with our products, that come with our motorhomes, but in this example we don't have any chairs, tables and chairs, but if you did have them table and chairs, fold them up and stow them in the garage in there. Okay, next check is to check that all external compartments are closed and secure. So, as I said to you earlier, you turn these locking mechanisms and you'll see the door actually closes in. What we also do then is hold, put the key in, turn it and give it a whack. Same with the bottom, turn, give it a whack. And that's that. That will be that garage door. So now we're going to go around and make sure that all the other external compartments are closed. So this compartment here, this is for the toilet, but we'll do another video for that. Just ensure that they are locked and closed, quite secure. This little compartment here, similar to the electrical connection earlier, but this is for your water. Anything to do with water is coloured blue. As you can see, that's got a blue cap. So just make sure that's nice and secure. So there are no other compartments around here now, with the exception of our utility compartment earlier, which we saw. This brings us on to checking the gas system. You do not have to have the gas turned off when you're travelling, but it's highly recommended that you do this. So we're going to take you through that now. So we're going to open up that as we saw earlier, open again. In here there are a number of gas safe components. Up here is a yellow valve that should be in the closed position for transit. So that locks off the valve from this mechanical object here. That is in the open position, that is in the closed position. On top of the gas bottle itself, oh, it's quite tight on this one. So to close the valve you need to turn it clockwise to close it. And give it, don't make it too tight, and that's the gas turned off in there itself. So we're going to go inside the motorhome now to, well, we're going to secure this again, it's our compartment checks. And so we can confirm that that's closed. Lock, give it a whack, done. So next on our list is to check the gas valve, which we've just done, and we're also now going to check they are turned off under the sink. Now Lynette's going to show you how to do this a little bit, as I'll be in the way. So as she opens the cupboard where the main knives and forks are under the sink here, you'll see 4 valves. Those valves are in the off position. That is in the on position. That is in the off position. So this is as secure as we can make the vehicle now, with all the gas locked off and all the isolation valves closed. Hi, it's John, we're back again. The next on our checklist is to ensure that all fly screens and shades and windows are closed. As you can see here, I've put down a shade as an example, so simply push down and let it release up. And inside there is a fly screen as well. And that's a simply pull down Lego. Do not force these things because they're quite flimsy and they're a bit fluffy. The windows are a little bit on the strange side. You would think that locking mechanism would go between those two slots. It doesn't. It goes on the outside. So to put the locking mechanism in, you simply press the button, turn, and it must go on the outside. If you do it on the inside slot, which it looks like it should do, then it won't close properly. So down here we would normally have the dinette. If you make up the dinette to make the 6 beds up, this turns into a double bed. We recommend that you put this away for travel. So let's going to show you some of the other stuff that are together. So as you can see, there's blinds pretty much everywhere with the exception of the front window. So Lynette now shows you how to undo the blinds. They do stop at various locations, so you just have to simply not force them.
I thought it might get stuck if I tried to do it.
Yeah, that's it. So this is a dinette area and table. We recommend you put the bed away before travel. And obviously if you want to have more than 2 people in here, you'll need to put the dinettes away so you can actually use the seat belts. Because it's the only legal way to travel in a vehicle with 6 people. So the next part is we want to switch over the fridge to 12 volts. This is probably one of the last things you do, and you probably don't need to do anything with this. This fridge currently is not turned on, but if you wanted to set it up to 12 volts, press and hold, select the one in the centre one, select what you want it to run on, and that is 12 volts, the one that's flashing now. A different Lynette can go in on it. That will run off the leisure battery. Do not run this for too long on the leisure battery because the fridge will drain down the leisure battery something wrong. But because there's gas in here, the automatic is chosen automatic. But you can run it on leisure battery. Obviously, if you turn the gas off, that won't work. So I'm just going to turn the fridge off now. So that's that one. Okay, so next of all, before our departure checks, we're going to be looking for loose objects. Obviously, having these doors open is not good in terms of loose objects, and as you're driving along, you don't want these to be bouncing around, and the noise can be quite horrendous actually. We've done all we can, put rubber mattings, as you can see, into each one of these to help avoid noise, road noise as you're driving along, but it's inevitable in a motorhome, there's so many moving parts. So simply close the door and you'll feel an audible click. Give it a check to make sure they're shut. So make sure they're shut. Just check simple things. Make sure those are not going to fall out. They're pretty much okay. We've tested that they're fine. Kettle, make sure the kettle is cold before you put it in there if you can. I would recommend filling it up with water. So if you do want to make a cup of tea on your way around, you can do, because it's not always good to carry too much water. Make sure everything there is stowed nice and safely. This is our draining mat system. That can stay there. It's not too much of a health hazard. If you look down in towards the oven area, obviously we put bubble wrap around this so that it doesn't make a lot of noise. Do not put the bubble back on if the grill pan is hot. But we simply cover it in bubble wrap to stop the noise. Otherwise, you can get this rattling noise that carries on. So wrap it up in bubble wrap when it's cold, obviously, not when it's hot. Place it back into the oven and make sure the oven, obviously making sure the oven is off, as you can see. Moving on, have a look into the fridge freezer now. So let's go open up the fridge. You're checking for anything in there that's obviously loose, that could be banging around, etc, etc. In this case, there's nothing in the fridge, so it's all good. So if we move on now to the drinks cabinet. Just checking there if there's anything loose. You can use this adjuster. So if you've got bottles in there that are bigger bottles, you can use the adjuster to move that around. This is just an idea to help you secure stuff before you commence your journey. So just ensure that is closed. And so looking at the skylights at the back, make sure they are closed. As you can see, this one is down and in a locked position, so that's all fine. check all the windows in the back are closed and look secure. So Lynette can just put the ladder back in. Lynette will show you how to lock that in. 2 little tabs hook inside and lock down like that. That is the ladder secure for travel. Moving on into the bathroom area. Make sure everything in there is locked and secure. The cupboards are closed, the window's shut, and everything looks safe. Down on the bottom of the toilet there, Lynette's going to show you a grey lever. That lever is the open and close position. So if you look inside the toilet now, it's in a closed position. Lynette opens it. That's an open position. You can't see that very well. You want this closed for travel. So close that. Put the lid down for obvious reasons. Just checking here if there's anything else that needs securing. Have a look in the cupboards, make sure they're okay. So to close the cupboard, push it closed and just push the knob back in, and that will lock that cupboard secure. Okay, so moving back into the habitation area, we're going to be looking for anything. Just wait for Lynette. So that's Lynette secured the door. Moving back into the habitation area, we're going to be looking for anything that's secure. So we're checking inside the cupboards. These are again rubber matted, and these will be fine in here. So we will close all of these to make sure they're secure. If you're traveling with an animal, you need to make sure that animal is secure. We do not supply animal dog leads for secure, but we do have our own, which we may be able to lend you. But we recommend that you bring your own to fit your size dog and your size animal. So ensure that all the cupboards are closed. Within the cupboards in here, this is for the dinette, ensure that it's secure, and there's also another dinette area in there secure. We put a rubber band around coat hangers just to stop the rattle really for when you're driving along. So that's just a bit more. This is the wardrobe space as well, which you get with a motorhome. Down here we've got another bits and pieces. We've got a first aid kit that we supply in there. We've also got the attachments for the Hoover in here. This is also where the fuse box is for the system as well, for the vehicle. Just make sure that everything looks secure in there. Ensure the door's shut and confirm shut. Okay, the remote control for the TV is secured on the back of the TV with Velcro, so that sits there. That will not come off. We have tested that and tried it, so that's all good. Just make sure that everything looks okay for transport. Oh yeah, we're back again. We're now going to empty the water down to the 20 litres. You don't have to empty down to 20 litres, but obviously if you're carrying more than 20 litres, you're paying for that in weight. I think this tank holds up to 100 litres, so 100 litres I believe is around about 100 kilograms, so that's quite a lot of weight. So we recommend that you drop down to 20 litres. So to achieve that, slightly lift up this table and move it over to the side. That will give you as much access as possible. Remove the cushions and anything else stowed on there, the blanket, etc. Pull the main cushion outwards, down into the foot so well, and just lift out. And just move out of the way. You'll see that you've got this square panel here. Simply put your finger in, lift it up, pull it out. Underneath there we have the main water tank, which is what this is. Here is a rubber bung. It is actually screw threaded, so just unscrew it as you would a normal thread. If Lynette can get in there, what you'll see in there are two push valves. So the one on the right is the 20 litre valve, and the one on the left is the completely empty valve. So to travel with 20 litres, move a second, simply pull up the lever to the 20 litre valve like that and pull it out. That will now drain the water tank, and once it's finished draining you will have 20 litres left in that tank. To put it back in and to fit it is simply the reverse. Make sure it's in that position like that. Put it into the valve hole, as you can see here, and then just push the valve lever over. That is now secure, and you can fill it up, and you should end up with 20 litres of water. Next is just simply the reverse, fit the red rubber bung, put the slotted cap in, and then just fit bottom cushion, and just put it back to how it was. And that's it. You're now carrying 20 litres. So our final departure checks are now to ensure that this skylight up here is closed. If Lynette puts into it, it's exactly the same as the skylight before. You can see it's locked. I'll just show the operation to open it. So that's how you open it, and this is locked. As you can see, that is now secure. The sky window above the double bed, that works on the same as every other window, so just make sure that that is shut in the way that we showed you earlier. The side window up there also needs to be shut. And the final thing on our list is to ensure the hot water is turned off. This is only an advisory, we don't actually have to do this, but it's a good practice to do this. So click on the home button, you're going to get an unlock screen. Press and hold the unlock button like that. Hot water, press and hold. They're a little bit fussy, these buttons. And as at the top, you'll see that there is a standby button. So simply press that, and that's the hot water turned off. And that's the end of our video for our departure checks. Thank you for listening. And I've been John, and this has been Lynette.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.